Now, Destiny was the arch nemesis of the red pill. So, sometimes there are people that simply hate watch. And they watch you to just see when you're going to trip up. They don't stand for anything, and they all they do is they want to take down men getting the right information. But what's really interesting is a lot of people that attack the red pill end up proving the red pill correct. An example was Lauren Southern. Lauren Southern had a debate with Rollo Tomassi years ago. And lo and behold, Lauren Southern, the traditional conservative archetype of what, people worshiped her back in the day, is now a single mother. Dun, dun, dun. And this keeps happening over and over again. So if you've been watching me long enough, I'm a pretty friendly gal. I try to be friends with people. But when I got into media, I didn't really understand. I think I was a little bit naive. I think blowing up faster than normal people do, like normal people work, 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 then blow up. And it kind of came to me faster than I thought it would. And so we'll just say I was a bit naive when I went into this. And in the social media space, to this day, you haven't heard anything come out that I've done anything illegal or crazy or that would harm another person. All of the accusations that come up against me are simply, I don't like your stances, I don't like what you say, attacking my looks, or it's really baseless stuff. Now, I would say I don't really have enemies. There are those that I would say and then there are those that would say I am their enemy. Enter Destiny. For those of you that don't know, Destiny is a liberal commentator that started off streaming video games on Twitch back in 2011. He's a diehard liberal and criticized many who have conservative and traditional values, including myself. I had him on my show in London, and it was quite the time, to say the least. We are the opposite on many issues, and he got pretty, let's say, passionate about certain topics in the debate. If you want to see my shows with Destiny, go to theaudacitynetwork.com to see them along with the rest of my old shows that I had to remove from YouTube because you guys are a bunch of communists. I don't know what YouTube rep is watching, but I mean it. You guys are communists. And I hope Trump sues you guys for everything into obliteration. And I hope all the other content creators that you've ruined their lives the last decade sues you too. But anyways, please let me back into the program anyways. Destiny has always been an opponent of red pill content for years. He constantly spews all the typical feminist talking points. 1, men are predators. Women are oppressed. The pay gap. Men are emotionally and physically abusive. The problem with people like Destiny is he can be as woke as he wants, but he's still a man. In the current climate, no man is safe from paternity court, divorce court, false accusations, and other issues that men face today. If you think like Destiny does, there is usually a harsh lesson waiting for you. Destiny's first lesson was when his wife Melania decided to leave him for another man. Destiny did this weird poly dynamic where he slept with other people and she slept with other men. We're going to pull up a timeline of Destiny's divorce. I will say Destiny does get baddies. Like, Destiny's roster is very impressive. I will say that.
Her name's Melina. So one day she's watching YouTube and she notices this streamer, and she gets a little crush on him. Now the streamer, his name is Destiny. He does political commentary and debates and stuff, and she watches him often. Now she eventually messages him on Instagram, and he messages her back, and they start talking, and they message back and forth for a few months.
And mind you, she was in another relationship when they met with a whole nother guy. I think it was open too. But if you watch the first streams of when they met, oh my gosh, it's like the saddest thing I've ever seen. The old guy is talking to the camera while Destiny takes his wife into the back and is literally having sex with her while the other guy's in the apartment.
Months, and after a period of time, he flies out to New Zealand to visit her where she's staying at the time. And things get romantic and they start dating. Now here's where it gets interesting. Destiny and Melina, they decide to have an open relationship. So they're together, but they're allowed to see other people. And they're both influencers, so they put their lives out there publicly. And they're
for everybody. They use their relationship as a marketing tool. And to be fair, the trad ladies that do the same thing, they're just as bad. They really are.
Both very vocal about this.
I'm in a poly relationship. The reason why I'm in a poly relationship is because I don't give a if my girlfriend goes and another guy, because I know she's coming back to me at the end of the night.
Now, they eventually get married.
Okay. If guys, I want you to be honest in the chat. If you were in a very long dry spell and a woman that looked like that offered you a poly relationship, it'd been like 2 years since you got laid, would you do it? I want a 4 in the chat if you would do it. Put a 4 in the chat.
Married, and their open relationship becomes an open marriage. And they love each other a lot. Like, there's no need for a prenup. I mean, he's already a successful streamer. He's got more money than he needs.
I make so much money. If somebody takes a few million from me, whatever.
Now, Destiny gets a lot of pushback for being in this unorthodox relationship. Now, he does a lot of political debates, often on these anti-women red pill podcasts, and they will attack his open marriage.
And how do you expect that to last for the next 5 years?
I mean, it's lasted for 4 years, which I think is longer than any relationship you've been in, right?
But Destiny and Melina, they don't care. They have no problem defending their open marriage. Besides, their relationship is going great. Until one day, earlier this month, Destiny's fans noticed something weird. He's allegedly...
Oh, yeah. And he's bisexual. I don't know what it is with women. You guys are going to bisexual men now? Dudes? Are you guys asking for AIDS? Also, if anyone on the network wants me to read their chat, put Pearl read and I will read it.
no longer following Melina on social media. And his fans are like, what the hell? He's not following his own wife? The next day, Destiny responds to some messages on his Discord where he talks to his fans. And he's ranting about Melina. And in these messages, he says she's with another man. But they have an open relationship, so whatever, right? No. According to him, she has become obsessed with this other man. Now, the other man is allegedly this guy, who will just...
What an L. And what is Melania doing? She just likes the scrawny look at...
just call Meme. Meme is a TikToker with a pretty big following. Now, according to
Wow.
Tiny, this new guy, allegedly Meme, is toxic and abusive. And Tiny wants Melina to stay away from him. While this new guy...
This is Destiny believing the BS, the toxic and abusive BS. It's him believing it.
allegedly Meme, wants Melina to divorce Destiny, I guess so she can be with him. Now, Destiny's also frustrated because he's allegedly been paying for Melina's apartment in Sweden, while she has been allowing, allegedly Meme, to live there in that apartment secretly for free. And basically, this has caused a lot of problems for them. And Destiny says he's done with her and he's done with all this. So then, screenshots of all of Destiny's messages hit Twitter. And suddenly his name's trending a little and everyone sees this and they want to know what's going on. Like, is this poly relationship actually over? Is Destiny really getting a divorce? And he's worth millions of dollars. Is she really gonna take all that money? And of course, a lot of people he had debated before, the anti-women red pill podcast people, they start using it as an excuse to dunk on him.
And yes, we will, because he had no problem. And I'm going to get into this. By the way, guys, when I invited Destiny on my show, I was actually very nice to him. I picked him up from the airport myself with Auntie Jenny at the time, for those of you that watched. We took him, and he had this like girlfriend or something there at the time, out to dinner as a team. We treated him very, very well, I'd like to say. Just for him to trash us after. The audacity. That's when I realized that streamers are like the bottom of the barrel. Bottom in terms of integrity. To be fair, I don't think most people have integrity. I came into this world a little bit naive, you know, this streamer world.
For being in an open marriage.
I don't think open relationships ever work whenever a woman is open as well. It only works when the man is open, but never when the woman's open. A woman can't serve two masters. She really
I want to tell you guys something. When I interviewed the 1,000 women, I would always ask women if they'd been cheated on, and I mean, who hasn't? It's going to happen at least once. And I would always ask the question, I would say, did you leave? No, I stayed. Okay, so like, when did you guys break up? What happened? And it was always after the guy stopped cheating. Like, always. And I would say, well, was he cheating when you guys broke up? No. Yeah.
can't.
So Destiny sees all this chatter, and he knows he's got to address it. And he makes a video talking about the divorce rumors, and it's an hour long.
But then this is what the guys like him do, and I hate these guys. Because what they do is they want to get laid, so they got a virtue signal. And ladies, women, when you see this, when you hear the pandering, you just can't unhear it. For example, they'll go on shows and say, I don't mind a woman that slept with a million guys. There are guys that'll go on and say that, and they say that because they're trying to smash. Why else would they? Come on. So Destiny's got to say, oh, you poor girl. Oh, you poor thing. Yes, your ex was abusive. Yes. And he slides in.
Don't worry, I watched it all. Basically, he says he's talking to his therapist about all this, and he doesn't want to go into any more detail about it or trash talk Melina or allegedly meme while he figures all this out. Around that same time, Melina gets on a live stream and she says something similar.
I personally don't want to talk about anything about my private life.
I don't know what you expect. You guys used your relationship as a debate. Now, if you guys just had like and the trads do this too, it drives me nuts both ways, but if you guys just had a couples channel, wouldn't even care. Some vlog, I swear none of us would care. However, when you guys come and say, you guys are wrong, look at how we're doing it. And then when shit goes south, we can't say anything. Okay.
Public.
So we don't actually know right now if they are getting a divorce. But we do know Melina has since agreed to sign a post-nuptial agreement. So any rumors of her trying to take his millions of dollars just turned out to not be true. And seriously though, I think this has got to suck for both of them. So I hope this works out for everyone.
And you can always tell which guys are betas because it's in their vocal tone. It's always it's always like 2 octaves higher. I want to say thank you to everyone in the chat. If you guys want to help out, you know, the Audacity's on. Audacity Network is on both app stores. Thank you, Crazy Kyle, Roger, Fazell, welcome back, Roger again, Brian. Thank you guys all for being in the chat today. We really appreciate you guys. Okay, so then we got Destiny talking about his divorce, opening up. Again, these are 2 blue-pilled guys. I've seen them before. They're very blue-pilled. They're like low woman IQ, high IQ guys.
Through divorce.
They've died on the hill that women should be allowed to go to bars and stuff in relationships. There's nothing wrong with that. Again, they'll be blue-pilled till they're not.
Right now,
I'm done with my divorce.
you're done with a divorce right now.
Fast. I heard divorces could take a very long time.
No contest divorce, like 2 weeks.
Really?
You just sign the papers and send them to a judge, and they look at it and they give you a judgment, and you're done, yeah.
And you had a prenup?
No.
How
it was
is
a short marriage. It was like less than 5 years, so.
So what does that mean if it's a short marriage versus a long marriage?
A longer marriage, there's going to be a stronger case to be made for alimony, but it also depends on if the earning potentials of your partner would.
It doesn't get real effed up. Men can kind of get out scotch-free if it hasn't been that much time and if there's no kids. Sometimes.
Was hurt, so if they stopped working, or if you've got children or shared assets or anything like that. Yeah.
You were in an open marriage, which means each partner can sleep with other people and have these like kind of micro relationships with other people. A lot of people were speculating that it would eventually fail. What is your response to those people that say, what did you think was going to happen?
I mean, most relationships fail. I had 4 monogamous ones before this open one, and they all failed. Most
But I guess,
relationships
but I
fail,
guess the
yeah.
difference was that you weren't married to those.
I was married to my high school girlfriend, yeah.
Okay,
That was, yeah.
got me.
I mean, most relationships fail.
Yeah.
The next relation, I mean, I can make a prediction. The next relationship will definitely be an open relationship because it's probably the only style I would do, and that one will probably fail as well. I mean, just statistically speaking, like, yeah, it'll probably happen.
Were there signs that it was going in this direction ahead of time?
Yeah, for sure. But there were just things I had to learn about myself that
What'd you have to learn about yourself?
I think because of the way that I grew up, I'm very much like, I have to do everything, and I'm like very, very, very independent. And I always thought that was a really good character trait. And I think it is for like business stuff, but I think for relationships, I think it's really bad because you tend to take, rather than ever assigning any responsibility or blame to my partner, I would just assume that I need to figure out everything for myself. And then I'm also like very not reliant on my partner for anything, which I also thought was like a benefit, but it's not. It just makes the other person feel like unwanted or unneeded.
Go into that a little bit more because I don't want to say I'm similar, but I'm very much the same way where if something happens, deep down, I look to myself and I'm like, how could I have handled that different? Because you can't dictate what another person's going to respond with or do. And I look at that and like, how could I improve myself? Where did I go wrong?
Yeah.
And I like to think of myself as like very independent, and I don't want to like throw too much on my partner.
So I think the issue here is every single piece of advice I'm about to give, a lot of the people that say this are actually the most energy vampiric subhuman piece of shit fucks in the world. So it's hard. It's like that whenever you see somebody tweet like, oh, like everybody around me always needs so much and I wish somebody would just like take care of me for once. 99% of the time, that's an energy fucking vampire, okay? Who actually is the most like energy consuming, sucking person that doesn't help anybody else out.
Do you guys notice? I'm going to go back to his old debates. His tone is a little different. That's what divorce does to a guy. Humbles them.
Except for when it can benefit them, blah, 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 blah. So take everything I say with a grain of salt. Maybe.
Doug in the chat says, Destiny talks like a woman. Any man that says they're very independent, that's what women say. And the whole partner thing. Yikes.
I am that person. Basically, I would get into conflict where it felt like my partner was able to justify every bad action they did on my prior bad actions. And I had done bad things. Like, I'm not perfect. I do.
We've been talking about how women live in the past. This is all in the Red Pill forums. It's all in there. And also in there is maybe not letting your wife have sex with other people. I mean, you can even cheat and they'll stay. I'm not even joking. They really will. But you know, this egalitarian BS that men can do what women can, or women can do what men can do.
Do fuck up. I make mistakes. But every time they made a mistake, it was because of mistakes that I'd made. And in my mind, I'm like, okay, well, fuck. Like, well, what can I do to change this in the future? Like, can I do this, or can I change this, or can I do that? And every time there was a fault that was my fault, it's my fault, and I'll do what I can for it, and then I'll see what behaviors I can change. But I never could like tell my partner like, hey, can you not do this, or can you make this change, or can you stop this behavior? Because then it was like the end of the world. So, but I set that.
And that's how women control men. Overreactions. If men know if I push that button, they're going to overreact, and then you change your behavior based on the overreaction. Women, we do it to test you guys. It's what we do. We overreact to see how you'll respond. I saw this video the other day of this woman who was complaining to her neighbor. She like knocks on his door and she's like, turn the music loud. Da, 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 da. And what he could have did is started arguing with her, or he said, what, you want to come in and listen to it? And it was actually really funny because then she goes into his apartment and he totally hooked up with her. But guys that have high like women IQ, they know how to flip stuff. They know like to never take women seriously, and they realize that's like a manipulation tactic. The blue-pilled guys, they get eaten alive. They really do.
That dynamic up because I'd gone through the whole relationship never being able to make any asks for anything in terms of behavior from the other person, and it kind of was not good, I think. Yeah.
Got it. So in a new relationship, you're gonna be more outspoken.
Yeah,
about
I
things
just have
that
a
you
hard
need?
time asking for things from people. I kind of just like
Okay.
meme and joke, even professionally sometimes. I've gotten better at it recently.
And see, that's actually smart because women like assertive men. Women like men. Women, we fall in love doing things for men. We don't fall in love when they do things for us. For some reason, I don't know what it is in our hardwiring, your devotion means like nothing to women. Nothing. And I would tell you guys a story, but it would make me look like a little bit of a bad person, so I'm going to skip over it.
The past like 2 years especially, but I'll kind of like, if somebody's making me uncomfortable, I'll usually just like meme or joke it off, or it's whatever until they reach a breaking point, and then I cut them out of my life completely. And for a lot of people that's really confusing because they're like, okay, well hold on, how did I just get cut out completely? I didn't know I was even bothering you. And it's like, well, and then I'll say something like, well, come on, you should have known, this is obvious. But then when I think about it, it's actually not obvious because I laugh and meme it.
Oh, tell us the story. You know what? I will if you go to my website. Yeah, you guys are in the free chat saying, oh, tell us this story, Pearl. Tell us the story. Because you guys realize when I tell a story that doesn't that's a little bit more personal or a little bit whatever, it gives all of my haters, what they do is they'll archive these stories. You know how women live in the past, and if you said anything to them ever, they just come back and they use it to attack you. I feel for you guys because that's what they do to me. I do. Like the thing, you know, one tweet a year ago, joking. You could say it was a bad joke, but clearly that wasn't a serious thing. And they call me a pedo. Now this story won't get me that, obviously, but it's the same thing. If I get 10 yearly memberships, I'll do it. I know you guys are thinking, Pearl, you're a hard bargain. Yeah, I'm a hard bargain. All right.
Everything off, so it's like people don't actually know.
Did this come out of the blue for you?
No, I don't think so. No.
No? Is there anything you would have done differently leading up to the situation that happened?
Like getting divorced, or?
I'm sorry, I'm getting distracted by the chat. I'll say, someone asked me why I don't go to Twitch, because I want to be YouTube free. If I go to Twitch, then Twitch can just ban me too. The only way to be free and really have a free speech platform is if we get enough monthly memberships, or I can just tell everyone to F off. I don't have to do a single collab. You know, guys, I just got offered a boxing match to beat up an OnlyFans woman. And I thought about taking it, but I was like, no, that's not worth the money. They weren't, you know, because one injury, I'm like, I don't want, no, not worth it. But you guys get the idea.
No.
Oh, Pearl, do it. Okay. Oh, okay. You know what? maybe I'll do it if we got 3,500 on the website. Then I would think about it. But until then, so no offense, guys. You guys are amazing. Really. I'm amazed anybody supports me at all, truly. However, I don't want to get punched in the face. I even think I would win. I'm being honest. I saw the girl. She's kind of fat. I think I would win easily. But this is the money maker. I talk for a living. I don't do radio. I do YouTube.
No, I'm talking about maybe you could have done something prior to then that maybe would have had a different outcome, or you could have saved something.
I think my general behavior in the relationship of not like putting like not being able to make asks for things or accepting or tolerating certain types of behavior that are probably not okay, I guess. So like having like I need somebody that shares my values in terms of what's important and what's not important in a relationship, I guess. Yeah. And if somebody doesn't share those same values, so for instance, like trashing your partner to another person, to another friend, that's something I traditionally would never do that. And I need somebody that like is aligned on that. And if I let
Good luck. Men have so again, women's only power is social, is communication. Why do you think women go to the city? Why do you think women like groups? Why do you think we like these non-denominational group churches, group classes, group whatever? We like groups because we have power in groups. Women have a group chat. If you have a Hinge, Tinder profile, and you have gone on a date, I promise to God it's in the group chat. Promise to God. That's how women are. So again, if you're red pill, the morality people, what they'll say is just go find a good woman who doesn't do that. And the liberals will be like, I need to find somebody that's aligned on my values. And the guys that are red pill will say, no, they're going to do that because she's a woman. Let me not text anything incriminating ever. Solution, problem solved. Let me not text anything personal, anything that she could take out of context, anything that I wouldn't want on a billboard. That's called pragmatism versus virtue signaling. Because the virtue signalers, they'll say, well, it shouldn't be like this. And the RP guys are like, well, it is.
somebody else do that, and I'm like, well, they view things differently than I do, whatever. That's probably not a good thing, I think. Yeah.
Okay.
You seem to be very matter of fact about it. How did it affect you personally or emotionally going through something like this? Was it really challenging? Because it's kind of weird hearing you talk about it in such a, I would say, nonchalant way.
Yeah, my emotional baseline is just really, really, really high. So as long as I'm not like my life isn't fucked, if I go to sleep, I wake up, I'm usually a little bit better, every day, and I just kind of keep going.
Do you ever wish you had more emotional variance?
I don't think so, maybe. I'm not sure. I've talked to a few people, Dr. K, a couple other people about that. I don't know. Sometimes I wonder if I miss some things in life because my emotional variance maybe isn't that high, but I don't think so. I think I'm doing fine.
Because being super sad can be...
See, this is men trying to emote like women. They're trying to say being emotionally available is the way they should do it. There's something wrong with you if you don't cry like a woman, emote like a woman.
A really pleasant experience, oddly enough, because you can find the beauty in the sadness.
Maybe.
What does that even mean? Men need a plan, and men's therapy is a plan moving forward. That's really...
It's all part of the experience.
Fuck that. No, I don't think
You don't think so at all?
Fuck that. No, it doesn't sound like fun to me.
Interesting. Like watching a sad movie.
Yeah, that's definitely...
I would say that's kind of like a proxy for what I'm saying.
Okay, then I do sadness by proxy then, okay?
Interesting. Well, I respect the emotional baseline. Do you think that most people have...
Guys, hit the like button. We got over 1,000 people in the chat, and I'm very grateful for you guys being here. So thank you guys so much. I couldn't do it with the men and the 2 women in the chat that support me like you do. You guys are amazing. So hit the like button. A like is free. I'd really like to get 1,000 likes on the video before we end. Be cool. So
have more control over their emotions than what they think?
Probably not. Most people probably have less control over their emotions than they think. That's true for me, I think. There are times where I'll just be a fucking dick and I'm just being not a fun person to be around. And then I'll like eat a meal, and after I eat, I'm like, oh shit, I think I was hungry for like the past 6 hours because I feel so much better now. I'll go back to my chat and unban like 6 people that I banned because I was just like in a fucking whatever mood. So yeah, I think that most people's moods or vibes are impacting their emotional state more than they realize sometimes.
The chemical reactions going on in their brain
whatever's happening there.
That's really...
Ryan says this is like the simp Olympics. I know. Put a 1 in the chat if you're a recovering simp. It happens to the best of you. It happens to the best. A guy's lying if he's saying he's never simped. Even guys that get a ton of women, they even simp. There was this guy I went to school with. Okay, I'll tell you. I'm going to tell this story. So essentially, there was a guy I went to school with, and he was a big player. And there was a girl on my team that was interested in him. And she was a freshman. He was like senior, so he was in my grade or around my grade. And I remember telling her that he was a player. Look, cheated on his last girlfriend. Cheated on the next girlfriend. He will cheat on the next, like, if you are the next girlfriend, you will be cheated on. She didn't care, so she kept going. I said, okay, good luck. Now, she ends up catching him cheating. And you would think, because he's, a big man on campus, gets a lot of women. He was crying on the phone. He made up the craziest story. Like, what did he say? He said that he kept using suicide as a way to, like, get her to not dump him. And I think she ended up not. But he would say, and not even him committing, he would say, oh, I'm only, because she found his location in like his ex-girlfriend's dorm, or it was something like that, because she had his location. And he said, oh, I'm just in her dorm because she was threatening to kill herself. There's ambulances here. And we knew someone at that college. So we were like, do you want to go like check this dorm? Anyways, long story short, I thought this man's not going to, he simped. Oh, he simped really hard. He was begging her, crying on the phone. And then he had his mom call her, which was insane. Or she called his mom, like worried about him or something. And it's like the way his mom was responding, there must have been women doing this before. Because then after the girlfriend thing, the ex-girlfriend wasn't committing suicide. Then he said he was. So she called his mom. And I wouldn't be like laughing if I thought it was a serious thing. He was just saying that to get her to not dump him. But I think he did this a lot with girlfriends, because I just remember the mom and the sister like not caring at all. And not in a way, like it just felt like this was a normal thing for him. I don't know. Anyways, you'd think he wouldn't, have this crazy episode because he would get all these women, but I guess not.
Interesting. I'm more of a proponent of like, I think people can force feeling whatever way, nearly at every given situation, obviously.
No, Rich, I am telling you, he did not mean it. I know the difference. I've had like relatives threaten to commit suicide. Like I've had that happen. He did not. No, this was not it. I'm telling you.
There's certain random statistical anomaly, like bad stuff will happen and you'll feel sad. But I think for the most part, like if you feel yourself being very impatient with something, you just have to like have an instant of gratitude and you can force yourself feeling more positive about it.
I don't 100% disagree. I would qualify it a little bit. Like you can have like feelings and then responses to those feelings. And if you enact like certain behaviors, or if you try to have like certain thoughts in response to feelings, you can slowly change the feelings. I think like that. Yeah, there's like a feedback loop there, that if any time you feel this way about a particular person or thing, you just think like, okay, maybe.
Okay, I'm getting bored. Okay, now let's talk about Melania. Nobody knew who Melania was before Destiny. And this is what we've spoken about, the life cycle of women in media. They have a tendency to go into an industry, sleep with a guy on the top, benefit off of him, and discard him after they're done. Now, after his divorce, he did keep his opinions, but you could see how he approached talking about dating and relationships was different. This really is what divorce does to men. It completely shatters their worldview of what they thought they were going to get out of life. And they have to go through this acceptance of, I'm not going to get what I want out of life. Now, recently, Destiny has been in the news because he has been accused by a streamer, Pixie, who I had on my show. She accused him of sharing her nudes without her consent. Pixie is another woman that also got famous off of Destiny, who was also caught being a whore. Now, mind you, when Pixie came on my show, I said that she was going to falsely accuse somebody. I wanted to bring it up, this video, it's on my website, but there's so much footage, I have to go through it and find the episode. But we had a disagreement about, she told her friend to sue her employer because she said her friend said she faced discrimination. And I said, well, how do you know? How do you know that's true? You're going off of a story. This is the problem. And I remember thinking this woman is going to falsely accuse someone. Then her roommate, who also was sleeping with Destiny. Guys, these are all women above fives. Like Pixie's like a 5. Her roommate's like a 5.5. His wife's like an 8, a strong 7, 8-ish. But what happens is they benefit off the men. They make irresponsible decisions, like letting a guy film you, and then also will sue when they face the consequences of their decisions. Women, the challenge with women like Pixie is she's going through life never having to deal with the consequence of a poor choice. Now it's hitting her. And she raised thousands of dollars to sue him. Crazy. Last time I checked, it was like 15 grand. This is how blue-pilled society is. She's raised at least 15K. I've raised 12 for the documentary. That is how little men care. People care about men's problems. She's getting all these sympathy points. And this is the problem we get in society is the whole world pays everybody to simp for women. There is so much money in simping for women. Now, I mean, look at me. I've been demonetized the past year and attacked ruthlessly on the internet because I'm not going to tell you I think something if I don't think it. But most people will lie for money.